Ever find yourself blasting that unmistakable riff, the one that slithers in like a snake charmer on steroids, and think, wait a minute, what's all this babble about psychic spies from China and unicorns prancing through Hollywood's plastic paradise? Yeah, Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers isn't just a tune, it's a sly grenade lobbed at the glittering guts of the American dream, still exploding in ears worldwide over 2 decades later. But beneath those funky bass lines and that dreamy chorus lies a tangled web of band meltdowns, globe-trotting epiphanies, and enough cultural satire to make Tinseltown's Botox brigade squirm. Stick around because we're peeling back the layers on this beast, from its near death in the studio to its billion-view video game fever dream. And trust me, the real story's got more twists than a celebrity divorce settlement. Let's rewind to the late 90s, when the Peppers were teetering on the edge of irrelevance, like that one uncle who shows up to family reunions with outdated jokes and a fanny pack. Picture this, the band's just clawed out of a rough patch. Guitar Wizard. John Frusciante had bailed back in '92, right after Blood Sugar Sex Magik turned them into alt-rock gods, too much fame, too fast, and way too many needles. He spiraled into a heroin haze that left him looking like a ghost from a bad B-movie, holed up in a Hollywood mansion that doubled as a junkie's art installation. Meanwhile, the band soldiered on with Dave Navarro cranking out One Hot Minute in '95, which was fine, I suppose, if you like your funk laced with heavy metal gloom. But sales tanked compared to the glory days, and by '98, Navarro was out, leaving Anthony Kiedis, Flea and Chad Smith staring at the abyss. What if the Peppers fizzled like so many '80s hair bands? Enter the ignition point. Frusciante, fresh from rehab, gets a nudge from Flea to rejoin. It's like reuniting the Beatles, but with more tattoos and less Yoko drama. Suddenly, the chemistry reignites. Boom, they're jamming in Flea's garage, and out pops the seeds of what would become their magnum opus. Now the birth of Californication itself. That's where things get deliciously messy. Anthony Kiedis, the band's lyrical ringmaster with a penchant for turning his wild life into poetry, penned the words during his global wanderings. Think of him as a rock and roll Indiana Jones minus the whip, but plus the scars from 1,000 bad decisions. He's trekking through India, and what's he see? Kids in remote villages butchering Nirvana songs, aping American grunge like it's the new religion. Over in New Zealand, some unhinged street preachers ranting about psychic spies from China trying to hijack your brainwaves. Kiedis jots it down, chuckling at the absurdity, but it sticks, like gum on a star on the Walk of Fame. Back home, he's eyeing Hollywood's facade, the porn mills churning out hardcore soft porn, the surgeons slicing away the years because pay your surgeon very well to break the spell of aging. It's all there, this neologism Californication, a mashup of California and fornication, but not just about bedroom antics. No, it's the seductive corruption of the California myth spreading like a virus worldwide, turning authentic cultures into cheap knockoffs of Tinseltown glitz. Ever wonder why that phrase hits so hard? Turns out, Californication wasn't even Kiedis' invention. It popped up in a '70s Time magazine piece where Oregon folks griped about Californians flooding in and ruining their pristine vibes with strip malls and smog. Kiedis flips it into a cultural critique, packing in lines like, "Little girls from Sweden dream of silver screen quotations," which skewers how innocent dreams get warped into fame-chasing nightmares, often detouring through the adult film industry. And that firstborn unicorn? Pure symbolism for Hollywood's fabricated fantasies, rare, mythical, and totally bogus, like a studio exec's promise of stardom. But here's the kicker. The song almost never saw daylight. Frusciante, back in the fold and channeling his inner minimalist after years of drug-fueled excess, couldn't nail the music. They tried 10 different arrangements, funk grooves, rock blasts, you name it, and nothing clicked with Kiedis' poignant verses. Imagine the Peppers, these funk-punk legends, ready to bin their future anthem because it felt off, like wearing socks with sandals. Frusciante's pacing the studio, sweating bullets, until 2 days before recording, inspiration strikes from an unlikely source. The Cure's obscure track, Carnage Visors, a moody instrumental from their Faith album. He borrows that sparse, echoing guitar vibe, simple AM to F progression, high contrast riffs that build like a slow burn thriller, and suddenly it gels. Flea lays down that slinky bass, Chad thumps in with restrained thunder, and voila, a hyper-melodic masterpiece that's equal parts dreamy and dystopian. What if they'd scrapped it? We'd be robbed of that chorus, dream of Californication, which isn't just catchy. It's a sly wink at how the California allure lures you in, then chews you up. Kiedis later admitted in his book Scar Tissue that showing those lyrics to Frusciante was a make-or-break moment. John loved them so much, he pushed through the block. Talk about band bromance saving the day. Fast forward to the album Saga, and oh boy, the drama ramps up like a soap opera on amphetamines. Californication, the album drops in June '99, marking the Peppers' triumphant return. Frusciante's clean, the vibes are high, and Rick Rubin's back in the producer's chair, steering them away from the psychedelic detours of One Hot Minute towards something tighter, more anthemic. But recording wasn't all smooth sailing. They demoed at Daniel Lanois' funky Oxnard studio, churning out raw versions where Californication sounds worlds apart, different bridges, lyrics tweaked like a first draft novel. One quirky nugget. Flea wanted electronic edges, even pitched hitting up David Bowie for production tips, but got the cold shoulder. Instead, they hunkered at Cello Studios in LA, knocking out tracks live in one room for that punchy, organic feel. No endless overdubs, no ego-fueled benders like the old days. Kiedis drew from personal lows. Porcelain stems from meeting a junkie mom at a YMCA, her kid's innocence clashing with her haze. Emmett Remus? That's Summertime backward, inspired by his fling with Spice Girl Mel C. Talk about a what-if scenario where the Peppers go pop-spice fusion. But amid the creativity, tension simmered. Frusciante, still fragile post-rehab, kept it minimalist to avoid old triggers. And the launch? They streamed songs online pre-release, cutting edge for '99, while Flea blogged flea mails like a proto-Twitter rant. Promo tours hit high schools post-Columbine, collecting anti-bullying ideas as admission. Then Woodstock '99 explodes, literally, with riots, fires and assaults during their set. They close with Hendrix's Fire, oblivious to the chaos below, later pleading with the crowd to chill. Flea surfed naked on stage because why not? The album sells 15 million worldwide, but that Woodstock stain lingers like a bad tattoo. As Californication, the single, hits in 2000, it catapults to legend status faster than a celeb scandal goes viral. Peaking at 69 on the Hot 100, ironic number for these guys, it dominates rock charts, snagging platinum plaques everywhere from Canada to Spain. But the real magic? That video. Directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Faris, the duo behind Tonight Tonight for Smashing Pumpkins, it turns the band into pixelated avatars in a faux video game, zipping through CGI California like Grand Theft Auto on acid. Anthony swims with sharks, Flea scales cliffs, John shreds on a hoverboard, ends with an earthquake swallowing it all, then poof, real band emerges. Cost a fortune in early CGI, but it's amassed over 1 billion YouTube views, inspiring a fan-made game in 2022 where you play as the Peppers dodging obstacles. What if that quake was a metaphor for the band's own shake-ups? Reception-wise, critics hailed it as their best Kerrang, and Rolling Stone crowning it top dog. But drama alert, in 2007, the Peppers sue Showtime over their series Californication, claiming the name rips off their song and tarnishes their rep with David Duchovny's sex-addled antics. Settled out of court, but imagine the alternate universe where Hank Moody joins the band on stage. The enduring impact? Californication didn't just soundtrack Y2K summers, it prophesied our hyper-fake world, social media filters as modern plastic surgery, Global influencers peddling Californicated dreams. Covers abound. Everyone from acoustic strummers to orchestras, even a mariachi twist. It's popped in films, games like Rock Band, and parodies galore, like Weird Al's Nod in his polka medleys. Quirky aftermath, that psychic spies line? Turns out Kiedis nicked it from a real loon, but it's fueled conspiracy nuts ever since. And Flea's kid Clara? She inspired the song's apocalyptic close. Tidal waves couldn't save the world from Californication, after chatting earthquakes with Dad. The band's Ripple. This album revived them, paving for Stadium Arcadium and beyond, influencing funk rock hybrids from Incubus to 21 Pilots. But satirically, it's a swipe at how California's excess exports decay. Swedish girls chasing fame, Chinese spies symbolizing cultural theft. What if the peppers were prophets? We'd all be dreaming of unicorns while the world melts. So there you have it, the wild, wacky history behind Californication. A song that mocks the dream while making you crave it. If this tale of Pepper's Phoenix rise, lyrical jabs and cultural carnage got your blood pumping, smash that like button, subscribe for more rock lore dives, and drop a comment. What's your wildest Californication interpretation? Until next time, keep dreaming, but watch out for those psychic spies.